What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Sports Stampede. I am AZ Rhino. My co-host is Buffalo K. K, what's up?
Mhm. What's up, peoples? Hold on, I gotta pause this music. It's so loud. And we gotta fix your camera. There's everybody. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, a little delay there in my transition, but we got it now.
Good?
All right.
All good?
Yeah, no, I'm good now. We're good. We're
All
good.
right.
We're good.
First ever episode, everybody. So bear with us while we kind of adjust and make necessary changes to make it great and in working order. So, uh,
Right.
Kay, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Well, you guys all know me. I am Buffalo K, aka the Accountant. I didn't give myself that name. It just kind of happened, but I'll go with it. Um, yeah, no, a little bit of a different format today. You guys know me just from sniping cards. Today we're gonna sit and talk everything football, from Madden through the NFL, fantasy, the whole deal.
Hell
So it
yeah.
should be good.
So, thank you, Kay. I am AZ Rhino. Don't have a fancy nickname like the accountant over here, but pretty much diehard sports fan. Love football, baseball. Been a passion of mine to kind of start off a talk show of some sort. So Kay and I are going to give it a run, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So let's see, Kay, if you want to go and give a rundown of what we're going to be kind of going over.
All right, we got a little bit of everything, guys. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to keep like the same format week by week when we do this, unless we bring in some special guests, which we'll do. Um, but we'll go just kind of go over weekly NFL news, big stuff that's going on. Um, we've got our head-to-head predictions. So we'll go ahead and throw in who we think's got the wins for each week, just head to head. I can't cover the spread. I can never figure that stuff out. I don't know about you, Rhino. I'm nowhere near pulling that off. Um, we want to do we'll also throw in like a weekly Madden recap of everything that goes on, because a lot does happen in there. We'll throw in some market tips and advice, what to expect for the following week, and I don't know, anything else that comes up during the next hour, football related.
Yeah, we'll kind of play by ear. We'll have a set format and whatnot, and if something comes up, we want to kind of go on a tangent on and see what we you know see how we feel about a certain news that came out or any kind of hot fantasy tips, whatnot, anything crazy like that. We'll kind of play by ear.
Yeah. No, we'll see it. I don't know. The NFL's never slow on news. I mean, hell, I feel like it's a year round event now, right? Like it never slows down. It's always some kind of disaster going on.
Oh yeah, there's always news.
Yeah.
So, well, with that said, we'll go ahead and kick it off into our NFL news portion of the show. Um, Aaron Donald getting a huge 6-year, $135 million contract with $87 million guaranteed, and that lasted all of a day before the Raiders went ahead and traded Khalil Mack to the Bears, and then the Bears go ahead and give Mack a 6-year, $141 million deal with $90 million guaranteed. Crazy amount of money being thrown around by these two teams. I know the Raiders fans are kind of upset with the whole Mac trade, although you get 2 first-round picks out of that. I mean, that's a pretty solid return. Mac is a stud. He's being a Raider or a Broncos fan, I hate the Raiders, but I got to give credit where credit's due. Mac is a beast. So see what he does there. Kay, what are your thoughts on that? With the money, the
Um,
trade.
Man, it's tough. So I'm at like a weird spot with these. Um, like I know these guys are really good, right? Donald's really good. Mac's even better. They can change around a defense. I'm even like I'm okay with the dollar amount of money, right? The dollar amount is fine. I don't care. What these guys are superstars. They're
Yeah.
they're crazy athletes. They dedicate their lives to these sports. Um, I don't care if they make $100 million a year, whatever. Um, but the only thing, like, I see a big issue coming down the road though is there's only so much cap space,
Oh yeah.
right? Like per team. How many of these guys are going to get to this elite level that you're going to outspend the salary cap on four guys? You know what I mean? Like even right now, I mean, you're talking guys that are taking 20% of a team's cap. I mean, we're going to be in some trouble soon because the NFL players, they want to get paid, and rightfully so.
Yep.
Uh, we're going to run out of resources, and then out of, I mean, if this continues and more guys um, feel that they're up to this caliber within the next 4 years, I think we're going to head towards a lockout, or the NFL is going to have to double the salary cap.
Yeah, I mean,
One or
absolutely.
the other.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
got.
we're going to be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Just saying in general, because I mean, you get a lot of the NFL players that are upset with what they're getting paid because they see these contracts that NBA players are making. But
Right.
the NBA on a team, you have what, 11 players, where the NFL you have 53 guys on a team. You can't sustain that. It's going to be astronomical, the amount of money that these guys or the teams are going to have to dish out. I know the owners make a lot of money and whatnot. I get that, but well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to affect us as the consumers. When we want to go to a game or something like that, how they're just going to start jacking up prices because they got to pay these players.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. That's
interesting
where
with
it
the
goes
amount of money
next.
that's being thrown around right now. I mean, these defensive
Right.
players are getting quarterback money almost, or old quarterback money. I mean, you got guys like Aaron Rodgers making a huge amount of money now. Now these defensive studs are wanting about the same amount. So, I mean, how many teams can
Right.
pull off a contract like that? Like you said, with the Raiders, they're going to have to pay Carr, or they already paid Carr, I think, and then trying to pay Mack is just too much. You're going to cripple the team.
Right. And it's insanity that two players, right, one on each side of the ball, breaks your team.
Yeah.
That's where their issue lies right now. Is it. I don't know. I know the NFL the NFL likes parity. It wants teams to be able to be competitive year in, year out. And that's why they have the salary cap. But I think the players are overgrowing the current salary cap, and I think it's more of a hindrance to the league. Like guys like Khalil Mack should never leave Oakland.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Not like back in the day. I mean, you're talking, I mean, these superstar players never change teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joe Montana wasn't traded 6 times because of salary cap issues. Like these guys are supposed to live and die with their team, and be like the face of that franchise for 30, 40, 50 years. And it doesn't happen anymore because now we're like, we're out of money. So you got to
Yep.
go. Sorry.
Yep. I mean, you get these cap casualties and whatnot. You see it every year with the cuts after preseason. Guys like,
Right.
was it Dan Bailey with the Cowboys? He's a consistent kicker. He's like one of the best in the league. However, the Cowboys cut him because of cap space. He was set to make almost $4 million this year. $4 million, and they went with a rookie who's making like $400K. So
yeah, that's insanity. I don't. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. I think the cap's gonna increase, and I don't know. I think the NFL's just got to move some stuff around. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, it's a tough call. They get so much money from outside the game, right? Like going to the games every day isn't what brings in the revenue for the NFL. All the jersey sales, the TV deals, they make money hand over fist nonstop. I think it's just being allocated in the wrong places.
Yeah. Going back to what you said, guys like Mac shouldn't leave, and then McKenzie, the Raiders GM, actually said it. I was on quote. It was in the final hour that it kind of just hit hard and heavy. It was not a plan to trade him at all. So I don't know. It looks like there's some kind of pushback, between Gruden
Right.
and McKenzie. I don't think it seemed like Gruden had it out for Mac from what I've been reading. He was wanting to trade him before he even had the job, and
right.
It's just interesting. I know a lot of the Raiders fans are kind of pissed off at Gruden already, and he hasn't even coached his first official game back with the Raiders. It'll be interesting to see. Like it's going to be, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out because they get 2 first-round picks back. So see what Gruden and McKenzie can turn those into. So
yeah, they have to hit on those though.
They have
you
to
know
hit.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Like not every first round pick is a slam dunk. I mean,
lots of us. Look at Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, trust me, I'm a Bills fan, man. It year after year after year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. They have to hit on him, or else it's going to be a giant waste, and there's going to be a riot um, in Oakland.
Oh, yeah. Well, Vegas soon. So,
Oh yeah, Vegas now. Jeez,
yep.
you
All right,
guys got to stop moving. I can't keep track where everybody's at.
who else has moved?
Well, just I don't like. Well, L.A. The
Oh
Chargers
yeah,
moved
that's right.
last year.
Yeah,
It
two
took
teams moved to
me
LA.
17 weeks to get that right.
Oh, dude, even
And
the
then I'm sure
announcers were
once,
still calling him San Diego.
yeah, I mean, it's and then as soon as the season starts again, I'm gonna go back to calling him San Diego.
Oh
Be like, there's no one there.
yeah, poor San Diego. All they have
I
is the
know.
Padres. Yep.
God.
Okay, moving on. So lately,
Okay.
Ramsey's been in the news a lot with all of his trash talk. You know, it feels like he's got an
Yeah.
opinion on every player in the league. You know, he's been dogging on Gronk. Who was the one guy that he actually complimented on? Who was it? Actually, I gotta find it.
I don't remember. I only pay attention to all the trash talk because it's more fun. Because it's more fun. Um, Nobody cares who it. I don't know. The only people, and this is funny, and I'm going to say this mostly because I've talked um, a lot to a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
But the only one that cried about it were the Patriots fans when he made fun of Gronk. Like this guy's made fun of every single team over the last 2 years, right? A
Yep.
player on every single team. That's what he does. That's what his MO. Um, but I, who cares? Like that's just what he does. Um, but yeah, like I said, it seemed like Patriots fans got really upset when he talked about Gronk. Obviously, Gronk isn't terrible. Um, Ramsey's throwing all this shade at him, but I think at the end of the day, I think the only disservice that all the trash talk does is to Ramsey himself, right? Like everybody already knows that he's this good.
Yep.
He's known as one of the top corners in the league. Um, I think I don't know, man. It seems more like a little kid crying for help, not for help, but for attention. He doesn't need help. He just like, I don't know, especially now, like, I don't, it's weird. Like preseason's over with, or was coming to an end. Um, I don't know, maybe because in the preseason, a lot of the news focuses on all the rookies throughout the year.
Yeah.
And he was just like, hey, no, I'm still here. Everyone come look at me. Stop looking at that guy. Come look at me. And I mean, obviously it's getting egged on too by his, like the reporters in the room, right? Like the local guys that see him day in, day out.
Yeah.
Like I can guarantee you there's some reporter there where Ramsey would just be sitting there after practice or whatever. And the reporter's going to walk up and go, hey, who sucks today? And he's like, oh, let me pick a guy. And that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This isn't some long drawn out. He's got, giant, I don't know. He doesn't lose sleep over these guys. He goes, yeah, let's write this one. This will be fun. This will make the news.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
that's all it is.
I do like the trash talk, because now that he's been talking the talk, he's got to walk the walk this year. He's
Right.
really got to prove himself that he is elite. So we'll see what happens over the year. I mean, that Jags defense is scary good. He's a big piece of that defense. I think with all the trash talking, yeah, you definitely got to back it up this season.
Right. Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I think it adds, that little bit of extra something on I don't know, like that Thursday night game. I don't even know if they have one this year, but just, I mean, how many times over the years has there been like a Thursday or a Monday night game and you go, are you serious? This is the game that's on? Like it's the Bills and the Browns. I'm like, who planned this? Like, what an idiot. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
But something like this gives you a reason to watch. You know what I mean? Like Odell and Josh Norman line up together, and I'm like, hey, okay, I'm going to watch this one. I'm going to sit and actually, I don't care about the game. I'm watching these two to see who punches first.
Oh yeah, what was it last year that AJ Green like put Jalen Ramsey in a chokehold and threw him down?
Right.
It kind of reminds me of like Cortland Finnegan. You remember? Or not? Is it Cortland Finnegan? The old cornerback for the Rams and Titans, who always got into people's heads. Man, that was just like his game. He just always antagonized his receivers. And
see, that's great. It's great to an extent, right? Especially like for me, like I'm a big hockey guy, right? So, not so much anymore. I mean, there's a couple guys still around, these rats. Like I remember an old Sabres player, Matthew Barnaby. They called him Matt the Rat because not the greatest hockey player, but literally just went out and did not stop talking for 3 hours to every guy on the other team's bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just he was Matt the Rat. Like they used to bring rubber rats to the rink and throw them on the ice when he would get in a fight.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. But I think, and it made hockey better. You know what I mean? It was a guy you love to hate,
Yeah.
and every team had at least one. And I don't know, maybe I think the NFL might be better if we had more trash talkers on each team.
Yeah.
Like everybody focuses so much on saying the right thing all the time. You know, especially you look at these rookies. Like I've seen a lot of Josh Allen this year, and every time a reporter asks him a question, everything's the greatest. He's just happy to be here. Big smile on his face.
Typical
The
sports
coaches are doing
cliches.
great. Everybody, yeah, all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you don't want him to blow up his own team, but
yeah. Who was it? Rodgers calling all of his receivers sorry ass receivers.
Yeah, right. Like that's no good, right? That's a bad move.
Yeah.
But even like Ramsey called Josh Allen trash. Josh Allen's response: he knows who I am. Like he was. That was his response.
That's great, man. It's awesome.
Right, exactly. Like that's funny too. Like that's kind of like a like banter back at him. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with, I don't know, guys, just be creative with it. I mean, for Christ's sake, you're playing football for a living. Go fucking mess around. Man. Like that's I mean, go screw off. Like it's a game. You're playing a game for a living. Go enjoy it.
Like to leave in Michael Crabtree's chain. Not once but twice, man. Just get into the heads. So
yep.
All right, moving on. So Jerick McKinnon officially ACL tear.
Yeah.
Big. I think it's a big blow to the Niners. You got Jimmy Garoppolo coming back. You know, his second year with the Niners. Finished out the year 5-0. You know, there's a lot of expectations with San Fran this year. I still don't think they're going to win the division. We'll get to that later. This ACL tear with Jerick McKinnon, I think, is a pretty big blow. You know, it'll be the bell cow back for them, and I think that really hurts their chances this year. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think this is brutal. I mean, you're looking at I had high hopes for San Francisco. Like I'm being a Bills fan, not not really warm tinglies for any former Patriot, but I still want Jimmy G to do well out there. I think he looked good at the end of last year. A lot of guys were hyped up about him coming back and running. Some guys are like, oh, 16-0. It's not happening. Even before they lost McKinnon, that wasn't a possibility. The team's going to be decent, but it's not. I don't think it's anywhere near this like superstar caliber. But this is a huge. Their bench wasn't good enough to sustain a giant loss. Not that I ever thought McKinnon was like some elite player, right? Like I've had him before in fantasy. He's had really good weeks. He's had really, really bad weeks. But I mean, now we're looking at Matt Breida, Alfred Morris, and some other guy who I've never even seen his name before as this new like committee of running backs in San Francisco. Anytime you go, I'm not a fan of running back committees. I know some coaches in the NFL swear by them. They're all for them. I'm not a huge fan. I think those bell cow guys, they tend to get into a rhythm and then they can really start to dominate games. I felt like Adrian Peterson never got into a groove last year because he would play like one run per series when he was with New Orleans. Like, and he just like never got into a groove, could never get things moving. So he, had another down year. These guys, I mean, Alfred Morris has been great in the past. Matthew Breida has not been terrible in the past. But at the same time, if these guys are splitting carries, I mean, if it's 50% for one guy, 30 for another guy, 20 for another guy, I don't know if they really get moving. I don't know, or they could rally behind it and all go nuts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's a tough call. But fantasy wise, sucks. I know some people probably took McKinnon. I don't know. Maybe you were lucky and at least got him. Like that's still a waste of a third, fourth round pick. He shouldn't have gone before that. But third, fourth round guy, that's gonna sting to go down before he even plays a snap.
Yeah, because I think that's what the first big blow to some of the fantasy teams this season. Last year was the David Johnson. So many people, first round draft, like first overall pick, man, and not even completing a full game. David Johnson goes down last year and just cripples people's teams.
I
Um,
know. I was in a keeper league. He was my keeper, and then just a waste.
yeah, it
Those
was
are the
rough.
worst because there's like the first round in a keeper league is really like the third round,
Yeah,
so it was
that's
ugly.
so. I mean, that's rough. But like you
Sad
said,
inside.
I mean, fantasy wise, Breda and Morris probably should be picked up if you guys have him or don't even have him, and kind of hope for the best. Stash him on the bench for now and see what plays out in San Francisco.
Yeah, I would pick up at least one of them. You know what I mean? Drop your second tight end. Some of you guys I know have two defenses and two kickers right now.
Ugh, why?
Go ahead. I know. Don't ever do that.
Don't ever.
Drop those guys. You know, if Breda and Morris are still out there, go pick them up. Pick up at least one of them, and then roll the dice. One of them could end up being the bell cow every down runner. So I mean, if you can steal that guy from a waiver wire pick now, it's the time to do it. This
Yeah.
is what you want to look for all season in fantasy.
Yep. So, all right, moving on. Martavis Bryant being cut by the Raiders. Thoughts?
Um, this one's a little tough. I mean, we know Bryant has been decent in the past. He's not a bad player
Loads of
by any
talent.
means. I think this is one of those instances where there's a player that teams don't want for the quote distraction reasons in the locker room. I mean, more and more, I think a lot of teams are going towards um, like a cohesive unit
Yeah.
in their locker rooms, especially after what happened. Was it 2 years ago? Um, where, or was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago. Like when all the kneeling stuff started,
Oh yeah.
and I feel like a lot of locker rooms they had to talk about issues that they've never talked about before.
Yep.
You know, players, individual players, one on one, had to talk about things that they've never had to go over before. And you know, I'm not in every locker room, but I know a lot about what goes on inside the Bills organization. A lot of those guys have said that those conversations really brought those guys together, gave them a better understanding of each other. And they, you know, they molded, they actually became a team.
Yep.
Um, and I think, you know, you bring in a guy, if Martavis Bryant doesn't fit into the mold of that team, um, I think teams are much quicker to dismiss those distractions now.
I think John Gruden. I mean, that guy is playing. It's funny how different he is when he's a coach and when he's in the booth. You know, when he's in the booth,
Right,
you know,
right.
he's this lovable, fun guy, goofy, you know,
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
charismatic and whatnot. And you know, when he's now, you hear the things that he's doing in Oakland. You know, moving Khalil Mack, cutting Bryant, stuff like that,
Yeah.
making these decisions. You know, he's not there to make any friends. He's there to win. You know. But I think
Yeah,
this is going to be the end of the road for Bryant. You know, he's still got a suspension pending, and if he's not on a team, that suspension doesn't start until he signs. So who's going to take that risk on him?
right. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Somebody might though. I mean, you never know. You know, if we get another wide receiver injury early here,
Yeah.
somebody. Well, no, not even. I don't. No, I take that back. If there's a wide receiver injury, I don't think somebody grabs him up because that suspension's still there, and that's
Yep.
brutal.
You still got Des Bryant out there. You got a couple pretty good wide receivers that got cut over the weekend. You know,
Yeah.
there's lots of options out there. I don't think a team's going to be taking the risk on him because I don't think his talent
Right.
is enough to deal with the headache. He's good, but
Yeah.
he's not that good.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, going back, by the way, somebody in chat told me that Amir Abdullah. Oh, I don't know if he knows this for sure. Straight, I don't know if that's true or not. But somebody was suggesting Amir Abdullah will be traded to the Niners.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard any
Didn't
news
see
about that.
anywhere, though.
He's still with Detroit, right, Abdullah?
I believe so. He's
They
kind
got-
of fallen off the radar too.
He has. They still got what? They got Blunt there. They got Reddick still there.
Yeah, they built up around him.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like you said, I think the two running backs that they want to go forward are already on that roster. Braden and more. So, all right. So Teddy Bridgewater traded to the Saints. Jets picked him up in the offseason, worked him out and whatnot. He's still working his way back from that nasty non-contact ACL explosion almost. The doctors were not pretty confident that he was going to be able to play again. I was a big fan of Teddy Bridgewater. You know, when he was with Minnesota, I think that kid was going to have a great career. You know, and then this horrible injury set him back. So I'm interested to see what happens with him in New Orleans. You know, you got Drew Brees who's
Right.
aging. You know, he's got maybe 1 or 2 years left. He's on the verge of breaking a shit ton of passing records. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think Bridgewater is going to be a good guy to kind of just wait in the wings and take over for Brees when he's done, because I still think Bridgewater is going to be a good quarterback. I think he's got the talent there. Um, I think it's going to be good for him to kind of sit and let that knee fully heal, and he can build back the strength in that knee to carry on his
Right.
career. So
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on this one. I thought Bridgewater was in line to be the another superstar quarterback before the injury. And early in the season when the Bills were, everybody was making their trades for quarterbacks. I was really hoping that the Bills would make a play on Teddy Bridgewater, but instead they went AJ McCarron.
rip.
Whoops.
uh,
um, but yeah, no, I think you're right. I think the Saints might be a good place for him. I don't know how much longer Breeze, has left or how much he wants to play. I mean, I'm a huge Breeze fan. I
yep.
always have been. So I'd like him to play another 4, 5, 6 years. But I mean, he's got a family. He might just want to call it quits soon.
Yeah, while he still got his health.
Yeah, I mean, last year the Saints didn't throw the ball a whole much. They ran over teams.
Yeah.
Very, very different. So it almost makes you wonder maybe if like has he lost a step? Like is he I don't know. Like maybe their game plan was, hey, I can't do this anymore. I can't throw 5,000 yards this season. Like okay, well let's try a different game plan. And I mean, it worked for them. They did
Yeah.
well.
I mean, you go
But
back
I
with
don't
the.
know.
I mean, the Saints and Breeze have always been. They always sling the ball around. Breeze is always there on the verge of
Right?
5,000 passing yards every season. But that didn't
Yeah.
really work for them. They got one Super Bowl out of it, which is almost a decade ago now. So I think with Sean Payton just kind of doing the change of pace, wait, slinging the ball around the place isn't working. But now they got Alvin Kamara, they got Ingram,
Yeah.
who's on suspension right now. But both of those guys were studs last year for them in the run game. So it's kind of nice to take the load off of Breeze's shoulder. But
Yeah,
getting
I
off
didn't
topic
know
a
this.
little bit.
Like I actually had to look up. I had to look up the stats, but both of those running backs, Kamara and Ingram, both went over 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns
It's insane.
each. They both had 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. That is absolutely unreal to have that split
Yeah.
between two guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean this. I know. I mean that's one of the spots where running back by committee worked, and each guy became a low end running back one. Running high running back two kind of situation.
Yep.
A lot of weeks Kamara was a straight starter because he just turned into a freak some weeks, but then disappeared other weeks.
Yeah.
Um, so he's going to be an interesting one to see how he goes the first 4 weeks with Ingram on suspension, and then to see how that comes, how they change that up when Ingram does come back. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know. It's Kamara's place if he can really command that backfield now and take over some games.
Yeah.
Ingram could be left on the outside looking in. I think. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
See how it plays out.
Yeah.
Um, touch base on this earlier, but you said AJ McCarron. Your Bills traded for him or signed him. I don't remember what you guys did, but
I don't remember what they did. I think
I think
they
they
just signed him.
signed him.
I think
Yeah, they signed him, and then
I
they
don't think they
traded
traded
him
for him.
to the Raiders.
Yeah.
So they're going all in on Josh Allen. It seems. I know you're a diehard Bills fan. What are your thoughts on that?
I am. So I did not like. I'm one of the guys. I did not like the Josh Allen pick. Right. Was not a fan.
Yeah.
But then when I finally got to see him start throwing the ball at training camp, like he has this like instant kind of wow factor. Like he throws the ball like I have not seen someone throw a ball like that in like 2 decades.
Chicks dig the long ball.
He's super impressive what he can do, and I feel like from what I've seen anyway, his accuracy. A lot of these quote experts were really down on his accuracy during the draft, and I mean he doesn't throw every ball perfect, but he's also the only quarterback I've seen that can throw 75 yards in the air and still connect.
Yeah.
Um, So and his accuracy is not bad. Like he's not throwing it at hot dog vendors at training camp or at practice. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, the ball's there. You know what I mean? So no, I think he's going to be great in the long run. Um, some of the plays that he made, even like I know preseason whatever, but even some of the plays that I've seen him make, the reads and the ability to stay in a pocket and sidestep a defender blitzing at him and then throw an absolute laser beam to a guy in double coverage um, are unreal.
Yep.
He's going to be fun to watch because he's not afraid to because he doesn't believe he can't fit a ball in anywhere. Right?
Sounds
He's
like Brett
convinced.
Favre.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And those guys are fun to watch,
Yeah.
right? So like he'll see a guy like, well, if I throw this fast enough, they won't be able to react to it. And that's his mindset. He wants to beat the corners. Sometimes it's going to work and it's going to look crazy highlight reel touchdowns.
Yep.
Other times he's going to look like a big idiot rookie who throws into double coverage and gets picked off.
Yep.
That's going to happen. But with that saying, I don't even know if he's the starter yet.
You really think they're going to go with Peterman?
I'm telling this coaching staff has something for Peterman. And to be honest, Peterman, I'm going to, all right. So everybody remembers the 5-pick game.
That's all that's every time I think of Peterman, I think of that 5-pick.
That's all anybody ever remembers. What you don't know is that he has an 80% completion rating through this entire preseason. Playing only when he's playing with the ones
against third and fourth.
Oh, okay. Nope. Only when he's playing with the starters, he has an 80% completion rating. He's been phenomenal. He's made great throws. I know, boggles my mind too. He's had one pick, and it literally went off of his receiver's shoulder and then bounced in the air. So I can't put that. Yeah, I'm not real high on him. I think he can play okay, but I think it's got to be Josh Allen. I think that what they're afraid of, the offensive line is so bad that if we put in a rookie, he's just going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I know you're heartbroken over losing Tyrod Taylor, so.
Oh yeah, I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. But no, I think they want to try to avoid their 7th overall pick. Losing his ACL for getting destroyed.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, a lot of people have the Bills projected to be the worst team in the league this year, so they're going to be in for a rough year, man.
So do I. I'm calling like 2-12 this year. And not even based on quarterback play. I mean, we made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. You guys, everybody in Cleveland is going to be in for a shock when they find out how terrible he is.
Made the playoffs because of Dalton.
He'll make some. No, they still had to win. Don't forget. I think Tyrod is another a different. I feel bad for the guys in Cleveland. Everybody else in the NFL is so like hyped. It gets hyped up on this guy. He's not bad, right? Everybody sees his highlight reel touchdown passes where he shakes off 4 blitzers, spins out of the pocket, rolls around, then throws a 50-yard touchdown bomb. It's great. That happens once every other game. The rest of the time, it's 3rd and 4 with 20 seconds to go, and he takes a sack instead of throwing it away. Trying to scramble around, he wastes 8 seconds, 8 of those 12 seconds, and gets sacked. And ends the game that way instead of why don't you just throw the ball away and we have another shot at the end zone. But he makes those kind of decisions that are incredibly frustrating. So good luck, Cleveland. You're just not making the playoffs this year. I'm sorry.
Oof, hot take. All right. Moving on, guys. Hot takes. Next segment here. Kay and I are going to go over our predictions. We'll go division by division. And we'll give our picks on what each division is probably going to do this season. It'd be kind of fun to look back at this at the end of the season, kind of watch this video again and just kind of see where we went wrong, where we were right. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to start with the AFC East. I mean, it's kind of straightforward. Everybody already knows. Patriots are probably going to run away with that division again. Brady's getting older, but...
Yeah, there's no surprises there. The Patriots are still the Patriots. There's a lot. I think that's coming to an end soon, though. I don't think this is going to be a thing for... I mean, this might be the last year, to be honest. These guys are a little... There's so much like turmoil inside that locker room. Trading away guys like Malcolm Butler. I mean, your Super Bowl, saviors a few years ago to just not even allowing him to play. It's mind-boggling what's going on there. people are turning on each other left and right.
Yep.
But just by pure talent on the roster, New England is going to, and the way those guys played together is so much different than every other team in the NFL. Trust me, I'm not a Patriots fan. I just have eyeballs and I see it year after year.
Yeah.
Um,
Got to recognize
but,
it, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Well,
they're still stuck there. I mean, the Bills rookie quarterback or Nate Peterman, the Jets rookie quarterback or who else they have? I don't remember.
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown. Yeah, so Josh McCown, same exact position as the Bills, right? Rookie quarterback or blah.
And then the
But
Dolphins
I mean, the
mess.
Dolphins. I don't know. I'm not. I don't completely hate their quarterback that now has left my brain.
Tannehill?
Yes, Tannehill.
He hasn't played a
I
game in like
don't.
21 months.
I know, but I don't hate him. He's better. He's always does better than I expect.
I don't know. I've never been high on Tannehill. I think he's overrated.
I don't want to say I'm high on him. I'm just saying he does better than I expect him to. I'm still not good enough to win the division though. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, AFC East. New England's going to take it. I don't think they're going to run away with it. I think maybe 11 wins this year.
11-5.
Yeah, 11-5 seems pretty. I don't know, almost pedestrian for them though.
Was it? I mean, they have. I mean, what are their options? You got Tannehill in Miami. You got Osweiler, who's oh my god, don't even get me started on Osweiler.
Right.
They have another guy. What the hell's his name?
Who does?
I know the Dolphins are keeping 3. The David Fowles. Never even heard of the dude, but
yeah,
Dolphins are keeping 3 of them because they're still kind of a toss-up on or questionable on Tannehill if he's even going to be able to play. So, has he played any? I haven't even actually watched any Miami preseason. Has Tannehill even played?
I have watched. I haven't seen any. I've gone through, just like some clips from each week, but I don't remember seeing any from Tannehill.
Yeah, see, that's I don't know. So we'll
see
what happens.
Played though, he had to have played.
I'll have to go back and look at stats. But yeah, Darnold getting a start with the Jets, the youngest starting QB, which is insane. 21 years old, 69 days. That's unreal. The guy just turned 21, man. He's just old enough to go to the bar and have a nice adult beverage, right. And he's going to be leading the New York Jets on Sundays. It's crazy. When I was 21, I was just waking up hungover all the time.
He might be too.
Yeah, you never know. All right, so moving on to the AFC North. You got the Browns. A lot of people are high on the Browns this year. We already touched base on it. They made some pretty big moves in the offseason. They got Landry at wide receiver. Josh Gordon's coming back. They got Tyrod Taylor. They picked Baker Mayfield. You still got all that talent on defense. But I feel like the AFC North is always a slugfest.
Yeah, I still don't think that they have the means to, on a consistent basis, beat the Bengals, let alone the Steelers.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are still going to win that division.
Yeah, I think hands down, I think the Steelers still win. They still have, arguably the best running back in the league, arguably the best wide receiver in the league,
arguably the best running back.
Aging, yeah, arguably. But Big Ben. I mean, I know they're getting older. They have not had the greatest years. They're still a force to be reckoned with. Their defense is not terrible. I mean, obviously they take a huge loss with Shazier. But I don't know. I think the Steelers are too strong in that division. I don't expect Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield to come in. And same with Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry's a nice player. He's a nice player. I don't think he's going to outshine Antonio Brown in that head-to-head game. I still think Antonio Brown wins that matchup.
All I got to say is I'm definitely intrigued to watch the Browns this year. It's been a while since I think anybody has said that. So,
yeah, no, and I think that's why people are saying, because they're like, oh, they don't expect them to be the worst team in the league, and that like perks their ears up. They're like, wait, something different. So I don't know. We'll see.
Moving on to the AFC South. That's going to be a tough division, I think, as well. You got the Jaguars returning with that stout defense. They still have Bortles at quarterback, though. But they got Fournette running the game, running the ball. You got Texans coming back with Deshaun Watson. It'll be interesting to see how he rebounds after his ACL and his sophomore
Right.
year. Um, and then you got the Colts with getting Andrew Luck back. I think Andrew Luck, that's
I think he's hurt again.
yeah, he's so fragile, man. That
I
O
heard a rumor he's
line
hurt again.
was so bad for so long. They just ignored it, and it cost him. I think it ruined his career.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate. But if he could stay healthy, I think the Colts got a shot. And then the Titans, Mariota's coming back. They made some moves. They got Malcolm Butler. So I think the AFC South
Right.
is definitely an intriguing division. However, I think it's going to come down to the Texans and Jaguars. I think the Texans are the better overall, like all around team, and the
Right.
Jaguars are just so good on defense.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how those two teams shake out.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% I agree with you. We are on the same page on this one. The Colts could surprise and do really well. They could gel and come together. Jacoby Brissett is still their backup, I believe. He's not awful.
No.
He can, with another year under his belt, even if Luck isn't up to the task or is hurt again, he could come in and play a lot better than he has. Tennessee, like you said, with Mariota, always kind of a surprise team. I don't know what to ever take from them. Yeah. I'm not surprised at 6-10. I'm not surprised at 12-4.
Yep.
Either, you know what I mean? Either one. I don't know which way they go. I think they end up with a lot of like games won and lost in the last 4 minutes of a game. But I'm excited to watch Houston this year.
Me too.
I'm excited to watch because we only had such a small sample size with Deshaun Watson last year. And like instantly he turned me into a Texans fan, like overnight. Like I'm watching and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is unreal to watch. So it was a lot of fun. But Jacksonville's defense, I don't know if they can repeat. Like it's so hard to tell if a defense can stay at that level for multiple years. Like that's always been a tough thing in the NFL for guys to do.
Yep.
If they can, though, they can beat anybody.
Absolutely.
If you can completely neutralize an offense. But the Texans are going to be their toughest route. They're loaded at wide receiver.
Yep.
They have a decent running back in Lamar Miller. I like Lamar. I like Lamar Miller when Deshaun Watson's playing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like they
it keeps the defense honest.
Each other well.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson goes out. Miller's useless.
Useless because who do they got? Whedon.
Yeah, exactly. I just okay, guys, stack the box. We win.
Ugh.
I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be the AFC South is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But all right, so your definitive pick though, you got to pick one.
I'm gonna go with the Jaguars again for back-to-back seasons.
All right, I'm gonna go Texans. I'm gonna say Watson stays healthy all year and puts up MVP numbers.
Okay, I like it. All right, moving on. AFC West, the home of my beloved Broncos.
Yeah, this is your home turf.
I think the AFC West again is one of the toughest divisions in the league. You got Gruden taking over the Raiders this year. You got Derek Carr. Mac's gone out of that defense, though, so it'll be interesting. I think they already struggled on defense a little bit in Oakland, so I think that's a huge hit to them. But offensively, they got a pretty good team. The Broncos, I'm going to be biased about this. I'm very excited to see what Case Keenum can do this year. He's a huge, huge upgrade over Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch. For God knows why Elway decided to keep Lynch instead of just cutting bait, but whatever. And then the Denver defense, they lost Aqib Talib, but they got Chubb and Miller. Oh my God, I'm excited to watch those two go at it and just attack the quarterback. Von Miller was getting double teamed all last season because they didn't have that other guy, after Ware retired. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. Their cornerback situation's a little worrisome. They went out and signed Pac-Man Jones, who I don't agree with the pick. I like him as a player, but as a person, I think he's shit. But
I think everybody agrees.
Very questionable signing. And then the Chiefs, they lost Alex Smith. They got Mahomes. A lot of people are high on Mahomes. He's like Josh Allen. He has that cannon of an arm. Right. A lot of people, I know you're excited to, you've been taking Hill in a lot of your fantasy drafts, which we'll get into later. going for that deep route, the risk it and biscuit, kind of what Arians was doing with
Mm-hmm.
Arizona last year. So I'm excited to see how that works. Not really, because I hate the Chiefs, but as a fan in general, it's gonna be exciting to see. And then the Chargers, they're always kind of just there.
I know. They're
Last
so
year, I think
close.
they got a cut. Like, what was it? 3 or 4 straight games they lost by like 3 points or less or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then, if that wasn't the case, they would have easily won the division last year. So, you got Phillip Rivers coming back. They still have a ton of talent on offense and defense. I think that's the team that's probably going to win the division this year. Unfortunately, it pains me to say that. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the Broncos can pull some magic this year with improved offense. So, but I think it's the Chargers that are going to take away that division.
Yeah, no, this one's a tough call. It's a tough read on this one.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I cannot wait to see Broncos defense. What they just in the pass rush game, right? Like I want to see quarterbacks back there and just like I can just imagine like deer in the headlights scenarios when they see Miller and Chubb coming at them. Like how like oh my god,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's gonna be fun to watch. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to win the division though. I don't, I mean, they've won before on defense.
Yeah.
Um,
Super Bowl 50. Whew.
but
Great year.
yeah. But I don't know if they can pull it off. I'm high on the Chiefs. Not I'm high on some of the Chiefs. I'm high on the Chiefs because their running game is always so good, right? I feel like for the last 3 years, the Chiefs have had a different running back, and they've all been like top 10 players, right?
Yeah.
They had Spencer Ware got hurt 2 years ago, and in walks Charkandrick West and
Tears it up.
blows everybody out of the water. And now he's nowhere, right? I don't think he signed with a team. Like
he signed by the Jets.
Oh, did he get signed by the Jets? Okay. But out of nowhere, this kid comes off the like the fantasy waiver wire into a top 10 running back spot. Last year, same thing. I think with Spencer Ware went down, in walks Kareem Hunt, and instant superstar.
It's insane.
The guy, oh my god,
Andy Reid
that kid came in. Yeah, I don't know what he does. I remember last year Hunt came in and they had just put a stat up on the screen right on his first play. And what a 600 something touches in college, not one fumbles the ball first play of his career. Comes back out the next drive and rushes for 45 yards and a touchdown. Yep. It's like, okay, that's out of his system. I think he fumbled one more time the rest of the season. Yep. But again, I don't think they're going to have the team that's going to be able to beat the Chargers. The Chargers are so good on offense and defense.
Yeah.
And to, like you said before, to lose as many games as they did by not even a touchdown or less, but by a field goal or less, especially missing field goals. Like they found creative ways to lose games last year. It was I would turn on Chargers games in the last 30 seconds just to see how they would blow it last year.
Yep.
They could be up by 21 with 45 seconds to go and somehow lose the game.
One of my favorite things is watching Rivers just have his temper tantrums. Like it just makes me laugh so hard.
He loses his mind.
God, that guy just throws fits all the time.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we go to the coach. We got to get rid of this guy. He's got to go. We got to get rid of this guy.
So who's your pick for the division?
Yeah, I'm same with you. I think the Chargers, exercise some demons and overcome those 2-point losses 6 times in a row. They're too stacked. Their defense.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan
Joey
of their defense.
Bosa, Ingram.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. NFC East. You got your Super Bowl champions in that division in the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to repeat as division champs. You got Carson Wentz coming back from his ACL injury. He's going to miss week 1, but he's going to come back week 2. Nick Foles has looked atrocious in the preseason, so they're going to need him back ASAP. A lot of people are still high on the Cowboys. I disagree. I think they're overrated. I think you saw more of what... I mean, they have all those issues on the O-line now. They don't have that strength like they used to. The unfortunate news about Travis Frederick. He's not going to be able to play. They've lost a lot of the key members on that offensive line. It'll be interesting to see what Elliott can do with it. He's still a stud running back. However, I think defenses are going to be stacking that box and making Dak beat them because, I mean, who do they have on wide receiver? They don't have Des Bryant anymore. I don't think they really have any standout guys.
I don't. Oh man, who did they just pick up? They just picked up somebody. Was it? Did they pick up Alan Hearns? Is that where he went?
Alan Hearns, yeah, I drafted him in the
Yes.
Almost Heroes League.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I mean, I think Dallas has lost a lot of good pieces. I don't think they're going to be that good. Sorry, Cowboys fans. I know you guys are very prideful. You got
Right.
the Redskins picking up Alex Smith at quarterback. They lost Kirk Cousins. It'll be very interesting to see how they adjust to that. Um, Alex Smith likes to be Captain Checkdown, 5-yard passes
Mm-hmm.
constantly and whatnot. He doesn't like to throw deep. They've signed Adrian
Mm-hmm.
Peterson. They lost Juice Geis. I don't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, the rookie.
To ACL injury, which was a big blow to them. So they got Thompson and Peterson running the ball. So that'll be interesting to see. And then the Giants, see what they can do this year. Last year, they lost pretty much all their wide receivers.
Yeah.
So they're playing with a bunch of ragtag guys. Sterling
Right.
Shepard was the #1 receiver last year. He's going to move to the #2 spot because Odell's back. I'm interested to see how Sterling does. He's one of my sleeper picks. And then Eli's getting older. He didn't have a very good year last year, but that was also due to the fact that they had no wide receiver. Very intriguing to see how that plays
Yeah.
out this year with the Giants, but again, I think the Eagles are going to run away with that division.
Yeah. I'm. I expect the Redskins to be decent, not great. Um, the Giants, I think, are a wild card for me in this division. I don't know. I don't. They were so bad last year, right? So it's hard to see like this crazy turnaround. But I
Mm-hmm.
know they've added in so many more better pieces. Um, so I don't know what a healthy Odell looks like with now a stud running back in Barkley. Um, and I mean Eli's Eli. He makes some good throws, and then he turns into a I don't know a disaster right after that.
Yeah.
Um, said Washington, I expect middle of the road. The Eagles, I don't know. Like I think I have to say that they're going to take the division just because I'm not a Cowboys believer. I don't believe Dak Prescott is like I know he had a really good year 2 years ago.
Upsetting a lot of people in the
Um,
chat.
I know. There's so many Cowboys fans, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but you guys know I've said I'm not shy about this. I'm not a Dak Prescott
Yeah,
believer.
I'm on the same
Um,
page with you on that.
and even if Zeke is great, right? Even if Zeke is unreal, your
Yeah,
running backs cannot outrun a bad quarterback. Like
mm-hmm.
you need a quarterback. Trust me, as a Bills fan, um, I'm tired of having the #1 rushing offense in the league and the 31st passing offense. Like, trust me, you end up not in the playoffs doing that.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I don't. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe Dak comes out and gels really well with Alan Hearns, and was able to hit some of his guys on defense. They added in Van Der Esch, who I think is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. Maybe that's a good if they can stay healthy. Their big thing is, man, those guys have a
They
hard
got to
time
stay
staying
healthy, man.
healthy.
They have been injury plagued for a
They're
while.
already down Frederick to that awful way to lose a guy. Sean Lee, if Sean Lee can stay healthy, that's a big difference. Adding in LVE, we'll see how he does. I mean, they're a wild card. They could do really well and steal the division. I don't anticipate it right now. Who knows?
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong in 6 weeks. Of like, wow, I was way off. These
Way
guys are
off.
really good. But I as of right now, I can't take Dallas. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
go Eagles again.
Agree there. All right, moving on. NFC North. You got the Vikings signing Kirk Cousins. Huge pickup for them. I still think Cousins is overrated. It'll be interesting to see how he handles that offense. Vikings were a great team last season. They had that miracle play to move on to the NFC
Yeah,
Championship. I
right.
kind of disappointed. I really wanted the Saints to go to that to see. I think they would have knocked off the Eagles. But
Yeah.
you got the Packers. You got Aaron Rodgers coming back healthy. You got the Bears, who just got Khalil Mack, so that's intriguing. Mitch Trubisky coming back for a second year. And then the Lions, who are always kind of like, I feel like they have all that talent on offense, and they just can't seem to
Yeah.
get it done every year, and it's
Right.
disappointing. They haven't won a playoff game or something like that at all, or something
Yeah.
in the championship era. Um,
Yeah, they've had they've had a bad run at it.
but I think it's going to come down to the Vikings and Packers. I don't know. If I have to choose
100%.
one, I would say Minnesota again. I think the Packers are going to be right on their heels. Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal quarterback. He just got paid Uh, and I mean, they lost Jordy Nelson, but they still got Cobb. Got a little stable of running backs and whatnot. So, and then defensively, they're still kind of, but I think when you
Yeah.
got Rodgers on your team, you always got a shot. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't count them out. I'm with you. I think the Bears and the Lions are kind of afterthoughts in this division. I mean, the Bears are trying to build themselves to beat the Packers,
yeah,
right? So that's what they're doing. I think by the time they do that, though, Minnesota is going to be the team to beat, not the Packers. Um, so I think the Packers are still really good and could do well. Um, I'm not a huge believer
yeah.
though. I don't like their run game. Their defense is it's good. It's not great. It's actually, I mean, their defense has cost them games before. That's why
Oh, yeah.
Rodgers has to throw these
Yep.
crazy Hail Mary passes at the end of the games because their defense can't stop somebody on one drive. Um, so but for that reason, I think Minnesota is a much more well-rounded team with Rhodes back there. Um, I mean, Diggs is fantastic
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I think Minnesota has the division. It's not a lock for them, but between Green Bay and the Vikings, I expect the Minnesota to take it this year.
Okay, so we agree on that as well. Moving on, NFC South. Um, this one's kind of a tough division for me as well. I mean, you got the Saints, obviously with Drew Brees. You got the Panthers with Newton. You got Christian McCaffrey now, and then C.J. Anderson running the ball. They don't really have any receivers though. We
Right.
got Tampa Bay. Who knows what the hell's going on there? I think that team is a disaster with Cotter as the coach, and then Winston just constantly getting into trouble. It seems. They have a
Yeah.
great receiving talent though. And then you got the Falcons, who Matty Ice. You got that. You got Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Julio Jones, and you still have a pretty good defense over there too. Um, I'm very intrigued to see how this division plays out. I think it's going to come down to the Saints and Falcons season. Um, Cam Newton, I think, is overrated as well. He's very talented. Don't get me wrong. I think Cam's a good quarterback. He can sling the ball
Right.
around. He's the best goal line guy you can have, I think, as far as a runner. Um, he's hard to take down, but I just think he gets into his own head a lot. So I think the Falcons are going to end up winning that division this season and try and get back to the playoffs again. Just everybody always says that
Yeah.
28-3 Super
I
Bowl
know.
loss. It's so rough, dude. Feel bad for
Yeah.
Falcons fans. But yeah, I think the Falcons are going to take that division.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a tough one to pick. I think all the teams in here are decent. Minus Tampa Bay, I'm not real sold on, especially with Winston being suspended for 3 games, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not. See, I'm with you on Cam Newton. It's not that I think he's overrated. I can't get past his ego. Like watching him his off the field stuff drives me crazy, and that makes me dislike him as a player and discount some of the stuff he does on the field. Like, I mean, that's something I can't get past it. So
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, but even as a player wise, I think I don't think he handles adversity very well. So if the team starts going south or a game starts going south, like he kind of crumbles.
Super Bowl 50.
Yeah. Um, but between the Falcons and Saints, I think I'm going Saints on this one. I think that run game um, it was so good last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, Breeze can still throw the ball if he has to.
Yeah, he's still slinging it. Like I said, it's a hard choice to pick. It's almost like a toss up. I could flip a coin and be happy with either or, but I think the Falcons.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take
picking.
Saints. I think the offense is going to be once teams start. I almost feel like Sean Payton is daring teams to stack the box, and then go. By the way, Michael Thomas is still on the outside. See you later.
Yeah. Later, nerds.
I think he's just waiting. Like I feel like a lot of those plays are designed for them to go. Come on, I dare you to bring that safety down. Bring him down a little closer, and then they're just going to torch him.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going Saints. I think they're going to be in a good spot this year.
Okay. Now the last NFC West. A couple years ago, this is one of the hardest divisions in football. Now, you had the perennial division winners, the Seahawks, who have taken some huge hits on that Legion of Boom defense.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is still atrocious. You know, you constantly
Right.
see Russell Wilson running for his life, it seems, but he's so talented. He makes
Yeah.
it work. You know, I'm very high on Russell Wilson. I think he's underrated a lot. I would almost put him in the elite tier. Um,
Really?
yeah, a hot take. but
Man.
but I don't think they're going to win the divisions here. I think it's still the Rams are going to run away with it. That defense is incredibly stacked. They added Peters, they added Talib, they added Sue. You still got Aaron Donald on that team, Mark Barron. It's just insane. And you got
Yeah.
Wade Phillips coaching it, who has a special place in my heart with that Broncos defense that he created a couple of years ago. So you got Jared Goff coming back for another year. You got Gurley. They got Brandon Cooks. And that team is just stacked. I
Right.
think they're going to destroy that division. You got the Cardinals signing Bradford, who competes against his own health. Can he stay healthy? I think if he stays healthy, the Cardinals have a good shot of making a wild card this season. That defense
Yeah.
looks really good. You still got Patrick Peterson, who's being allowed to attack the ball this year. Who when Bruce Arians was there, they didn't let him do that. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Right.
They lost Tyrann Mathieu to the Texans. They let him go due to his injury issue. Lost his swagger a little bit. He wasn't really the honey badger anymore, so that was kind of a big hit. Buda Baker, I think, is going to be a huge stud in this league. I'm excited to see what he can do. I had him in an IDP last year, and he killed it for me. And then you got the Niners with Jimmy G coming back. We already kind of touched base on this. They lost McKinnon for the year with the ACL. A lot of people are kind of high on San Francisco in that division. I'm not. I think they're just not going to be able to compete with the Rams and the Cardinals if Bradford can stay healthy. Put an asterisk there. You got David Johnson coming back on the Cardinals too. I forgot to mention that. That's a huge piece coming back. They didn't have him at all last year, and it's going to make defenses honest because that guy wants to. He's been very vocal about being a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver this year.
Right.
So we'll see if that actually happens. It's going to be kind of hard for him to do, but they still got Larry Fitzgerald on that team. They drafted Christian Kirk, who's supposed to be pretty good. So, but again, I think the Rams are going to run away with that division easily.
Yeah, this one's gonna be fun to watch how this plays out. We said with David Johnson coming back on the Cardinals, I'm a huge David Johnson fan.
Yep.
Just watching him play, right, even outside of fantasy, I think he's going to be the number one fantasy player this year. I think he's going to be the number one overall offensive player in the entire NFL. He's so good, and part of that I think is going to be to lack of other options on that offense. I mean, like you said, Fitzgerald's good. They have a couple other decent receivers. They can move the ball around. They did it last year. They moved the ball around pretty efficiently. But David Johnson's so good. He's going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So like for him to do really well. San Francisco with Jimmy G, I think last year was lightning in a bottle for the last 5 years or 5 games or so, that 5-game win streak.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to run away with anything this year. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. Like they'll finish maybe 8-8, maybe 9-6, and just be on the outside. The Seahawks, I think they're going to be last in the division, to be honest.
4-12.
Yeah, man, I think you can't lose 40% of your defense and expect to be okay.
Yeah.
I said they're fielding trade offers now for Earl Thomas too. Like they're getting trade offers. So there's no one. I can't even name 3 players on that defense anymore.
I mean, they still got Bobby Wagner, who's arguably one of the, if not the best linebacker in the game.
Right.
I mean, that guy's a stud.
Right.
But
he can't cover 2 wide receivers streaking down the sidelines at the same time.
True.
So that's going to make things a little tough. But I think for this one, like you said, I got to go Rams. They are just so stacked on defense. It's unreal. Yeah, no, I think that that's a walk away win for the Rams in the division anyway. And you could see a wild card out of the Cardinals. That's possible.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about the Rams is the amount of egos on that team. There's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Wade Phillips did a really good job with it in Denver, keeping everybody happy. So that's why I'm excited to see what he can do with the Rams. But yeah, I mean, you got what's his name, Sean McVay? That's the coach's name, right? And
Yeah.
he's still young, so I'm intrigued to see how
Right.
he
Right.
handles all those egos. You know,
Yeah.
keeps
Yeah.
the locker room under wraps, and and keeps the team focused, not make it
Right.
more individual goal based and whatnot with all those players.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how they shake out.
So, recap real quick. We have myself picking the Patriots in the AFC East. Kay, I think you agreed on that, correct?
Yep. I did.
And AFC North, I think we both have the Steelers picked, right?
Yep.
And then AFC South, you have the Texans. I have the Jags.
True story.
AFC West, we both picked the Chargers. NFC East, I think we both picked the Eagles.
Yeah,
NFC North.
I could see a wild card play out of the Giants on that one though. We'll see with
Ooh,
how
that
many
much of a
weapons they have
rebound,
on
right?
offense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you got
it
Barkley
could.
too. I forgot Barkley's a huge addition for
Yeah,
them. NFC North, I think we both picked the Vikings.
hmm
NFC South, I went Falcons, you went Saints. And then NFC West, we both went Rams. So a couple of differences there, but
right.
overall, we kind of agree on
Yeah,
that. So there you go, everybody.
yeah. We'll see how those guys shake out.
I know we got a lot of flack in the chat about the Cowboys. Sorry, Cowboy fans out there, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like Kay said, if they end up tearing it up, well, we'll eat crow on that. But
Yeah,
that's just the fun of doing predictions. So,
right.
okay, so moving on, we're gonna move on to fantasy talk. We forgot to actually put up our Twitter poll. Okay, whoops.
Oh, well, we can though. We can put it up at the end after the show, and then you guys can vote on it. We'll recap it next week or
There you
during
go.
next week's show.
So our question is going to be, who do you take one overall? Gurley, Bell, DJ, Antonio Brown, or other. I don't know if we can have a or a fifth option on Twitter poll, but Kay, you had the one overall pick yesterday in your league with Trumpet Monkey and the director. I had the second pick in the two drafts that I've done, and I picked Bell in both. So, chat, what do you guys think? Think about it, and then we'll throw the Twitter poll up. Make sure you guys vote on that, and we'll discuss it next week. I know a lot of people have already done their drafts, but
yeah. So now it's a good time to take a look at it. Who went and who would you pick? Because mine were I had number one yesterday, but in the Almost Heroes League I had the third overall, and in both leagues I grabbed the same player.
yeah, a lot of people are I think DJ is a solid pick. My choice, if I had the one overall, would be David Johnson.
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
what I
I think
went
he's
with.
going to be the top. 2 years ago, he was the best fantasy guy. Scored the most
Right.
points. He was just all around stud. So he should be able to recoup as long as he stays healthy. KK, you wanted to go over who are the guys you want to take a look at outside of the first round?
Yeah, we want to go over a couple of guys. These are guys outside of your top 10, top 12, at least in the leagues that I've been in so far. That they didn't make the top cut, but they're still really, really, really good. I think that Deshaun Watson is going to have a phenomenal year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to bounce back. He's been playing. He's not wearing a brace. He looks good. He looks really good. And then outside of Deshaun Watson, I went with I think I grabbed Deshaun Watson in like the fourth or fifth, maybe the fifth round, which is early for me for a quarterback. But I think he shredded guys last year when he was healthy. Defenses had no idea what to do there. So I went. I'm staying with him. On my other guy, I think Tyreek Hill is being overlooked in a lot of leagues. At least the leagues that I'm in. I'm so high on Tyreek Hill. I know it's preseason and all, but this guy, you're talking a guy that's putting up 80 yards and a touchdown in 7 plays. The guy comes out for like 2 series, is putting up 80 yards and a touchdown. I cannot overlook that. I think he's going to be a monster all year long.
I know him well. He terrorized the Broncos all last season.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, the guy is quick. Tyreek Hill is so fast, and you got Mahomes who can just chuck the ball downfield. The only thing that you got to worry about is that O line holding up and giving Mahomes enough time to set up that play. So,
right.
Both good picks. I agree with both of those. We'll go into the sleeper running backs. The 2 guys that I have pegged are Bilal Powell and then Royce Freeman out of Denver. Powell is pretty solid late round pick if you're looking to fill out the end of your bench and whatnot. He's going to be the starter for the Jets. For some reason, he's going really late. Let's actually pull this up. Where's he at? He's the 35th rated running back, but he's going, what is it, the 11th round? Yeah. So you can grab him late. I think he's going to be pretty solid. He put up some pretty decent numbers last year. I mean, Royce Freeman out of Denver. Watching that guy through the preseason, he worked his way up through the depth chart. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Elway's already said that he's a bell cow type. I'm excited for Rolls Royce is what they're calling him. So those are two guys that I would pick late. If you haven't picked up Freeman yet, I know a lot of people have already done their drafts and whatnot, but if he's available, I would definitely pick him up and stash him, just see how it plays out. Denver definitely made some improvements on that O-line. You got Case Keenum now at quarterback who can sling the ball, so the defenses will stay honest. I'm really intrigued to see what Freeman can do this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
And then sleeper tight end picks. I know a lot of people, kind of drops off after, Gronkowski, Kelsey, Hurts. A lot of people, I think struggle with tight end because, they're just not used as receiver types that often. After those top three guys, it's kind of like, all right, we'll see what happens. Throw one in there and see how it goes. But this year, I would keep an eye on Trey Burton out of Chicago. You got Nagy taking over as head coach there, who came over from Kansas City. He wants to instill the same kind of offense that they had in Kansas City, which they heavily used Kelsey a lot. So I'm intrigued to see what Trey Burton can do. I think Trubisky is going to need a security blanket, and I think that's what Trey Burton's going to be. So keep an eye on him. If you can, pick him up. And then Njoku out of Cleveland. I think he's poised for a breakout year. I think Tyrod Taylor used a lot of clay when he was in Buffalo, right? No?
Nope, not one bit.
Really? I always I had
Charles
him.
Clay was 100%. No, Tyrod can't see the middle of the field, so Charles Clay was completely useless.
So maybe I should take that pick back. I always pictured Clay doing pretty well as a tight end.
No, that's because Clay's on those highlight reel plays of those busted plays.
Maybe that's what it is.
Where Tyrod scrambles and then he ends up being wide open. But the problem was he was wide open the whole time, and he didn't see him until he scrambled for 30 seconds.
Interesting. But
Charles Clay should be a Pro Bowl tight end, and he's been completely overlooked for the last 4 years.
Njoku is the 12th ranked tight end this year so far, preseason rank. So I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what they can do with that. Njoku intrigues me with his hard knocks stuff is pretty good. So
right.
I don't want to go based off of just that, but Trey Burton I think is the best one to go after if you can't get Gronk, Hurts, Kelsey. Luckily, I got Kelsey in both leagues. I got Trey Burton on the bench in one, so we'll see how it goes. Any other fantasy news stuff you want to go over?
I think that's it for fantasy. I think we covered everybody.
Wide receivers, you got Shepard, I think, is a late pick that you can go with. He was the number one for New York last year, which I covered earlier. OBJ's coming back, so he won't be covered by the top cornerbacks. So that'd be intriguing.
Right.
And then Edelman, you can probably get late too. He's serving that 4-game suspension, but I mean he's Brady's favorite target. I got him late in the Almost Heroes League, and I was pretty happy with that because I can stash him. Week 5, he's going to come back. I got a stud wide receiver to plug in.
Right. Yeah, wide receivers. I don't know. I feel like outside of the top 10 guys, you can almost stream them week to week because there's so much variety in guys. Even neither one of us are real high on Miami, but somebody's going to catch the ball, and Devontae Parker is now the only guy there really. So he could be a late round, like your last round flyer wide receiver. He's still there in the 15th round. Could end up being a top 12 wide receiver if Miami's offense clicks and does well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just based on volume, he could be a top 10 wide receiver at the end of the year. In your last pick, why not? Go for a guy like that is, kind of lounging around.
Yeah, you already got your starting lineup rounded out. Why not? Take a risk on it, see what happens.
Yeah, I think yesterday I drafted 7 wide receivers because you never know who hits.
Yep.
The running backs are usually a lot more set in stone. Everybody knows who the guys are. Just on volume, there's a limitation there. But on a wide receiver, you never. Some of those guys turn into superstars that you're like, you know, 3 weeks ago, you're like, I don't know that guy's name, and the next week, everyone's trying to trade for him or was wishing they would have got him off the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Will Fuller did that a few years ago. Will Fuller just like blew up on the scene. It was like, who
Yep.
the hell is this guy? Ooh, 150 yards. I'll take that.
Yep. You always have that, and then everybody rushes to get him in the waiver wire, and then it's
Right.
kind of hit or miss after that. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Okay, moving on. We got the accountant with us. You guys know Kay is the accountant. He's been dubbed the accountant for his market guru expertise in the Madden auction house. So, Kay, this is your segment. You do what you want. I'll poke questions in here and there and give these people some tips and tricks on how to navigate the market and trends, expectations, new packs coming out, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think what I just really want to cover on here is kind of like a recap of the week for the market, right? You guys that were in there trying to make some coins this past week was a little tough, with the awful events that took place in Jacksonville last Sunday. EA rightfully so slowed down any new content that came out to the game. And it for those of you no money spent guys, just the guys trying to make a lot of coins, that put that slowed things down, that makes things tough. It's easy to make coins when there's a lot of new packs, when people are buying packs and then throwing up the cards they don't want. That's where there's money to be made inside Madden. We see our normal trends so what I track all the trends, right? I can't tell you these, like, there's no secret filters on how to make coins. There's no, there's nothing nobody else knows. Everybody, it's the same concept on how to make coins, right? Find a filter where you're seeing 59 minutes or better at the top of your screen when you sort by newest, and then find cards that are worth more than what they're being posted for. I bought an 83 Randy Moss yesterday for 250 coins. But
I have yet to get lucky on any snipes, man. It's been run of the mill basic stuff, make a 1,000 coins here and there, and then you guys get these crazy snipes, man. And it's
yeah,
I'm hoping one day I can
get
get
one
that.
I had all year though. But I was a fan of it.
Yeah, obviously.
I was a little fan. But yeah, so there's no secret to it, guys. No secret. It's just everything goes in trends, right? So prices go down during the week on usually Wednesday to Friday. Everything drops right out.
Yep.
Buy a bunch of stuff then. Wait until Sunday or Monday and sell it for a 40% increase. That's it. That's literally all you have to do to make coins. You literally buy stuff when they're 7,000 coins, sell them for 11,000. You can get lucky on the big ones, but there's so many people trying to snipe. Everyone's looking for Ramsey at 100,000 coins.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. You're not. You know what I mean? You can sit there and refresh on that screen all day. You're wasting your time. If you take smaller bites out of it and make 3,000 coins here, 4,000 coins here, even 1,000 coins here, and you keep recycling that as fast as you can, you go do that. Then you go play a head-to-head game, especially right now. It's weekend league, right? Go buy 15 cards, throw them up in your auction house. Go play your weekend league game, get frustrated, come back, and then you feel better because you got 30,000 extra coins in your bank.
Yep.
Do that again, snipe for 10 minutes, go play another game, come back to 30,000 more coins. And next thing you know what I mean? You're bringing in coins nonstop. So that's the only, that's how it's done. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the only way to do it, really. And this week was wild, right? With the legend packs that come out. I mean, guys, Barry Sanders is in the game already.
What a beast.
We're not even at week 1, and Barry Sanders and Michael Vick are in the game already.
Yeah, it's crazy that they released those two guys already.
Yeah, at this point, I'm expecting Ultimate Legends to come out by Thanksgiving. We're just getting loaded up with guys. It's unreal. But with that said, then they added in a new set for Legends. If you add in 5 version 1 to 3 Legends, you get a version 4 or 5. Broke Legends in the auction house. Their minimum now is always Brian Dawkins too, guys. Brian Dawkins, unreal.
Dude, big fan of Brian Dawkins.
Yeah. But these new Legend sets, they took guys that were going for like 11,000 coins, 12,000 coins instantly overnight in one fell swoop, minimum 30K.
Yep.
Guys, people don't know this. Some people don't know this. This is what and I hate to say this, but if you're going to go make coins in the auction house, You make it on other people's mistakes or lack of knowledge. That's how you that's how you make coins now. It's mistakes and someone's lack of knowledge. People don't know that, right? And they'll go pull one of these legends. Legend bundles came out yesterday. Everybody bought legend bundles. Um, Guys that didn't know that new set came out and that prices for an 82 overall legend card was at 30,000 coins, threw them up for 11,000 coins. You were snatching those up like crazy. I know lots of people yesterday who made literally hundreds of thousands of coins, literally just buying legend cards and selling them for 30,000. So when stuff like that comes out, like that's what you want to look at. You want to go, oop, giant increase here. Like increases in the market are the best thing for you if you're trying to make money. You find cards that increased in price that other people won't know increased in price and go buy them for their old price 2 days ago. It happens. You can do it for everything. Like watch. It looks like Team of the Week is coming out this week, maybe tomorrow. That's going to break some things. I'm sure we'll keep an eye on that and see where things are going to go there. And then don't sleep on tokens, guys. Everybody's convinced that training points are going to drive the market this year. That's not going to happen. Just like every other year, tokens are going to drive the market more than anything else, especially elite tokens. If something comes out, like let's say Team of the Week comes out tomorrow, and there's a set to do, whatever, 2 elite tokens in to pull, an 85 or better Team of the Week card. Expect every core elite player to skyrocket in price because now everybody wants to do that set.
Yep.
It's stuff like that where you end up seeing like a 20-30% jump on your core elite cards. So that's going to drive the market. Training points are not. By the end of the year, you're going to have so many training points. It's going to be just like contracts have been in the past. The first couple months, I was like, oh my God, I'm out of contracts. And then by, I don't know, by the Super Bowl time, you're like, what am I going to do with 17,000 extra contracts? It's gonna shake down the same way. I expect it to be nothing different. So keep an eye on that. As soon as tokens come out, the market's gonna go crazy. That's gonna be your best time to make even more coins. I mean, we're talking like millions in a day kind of increase.
I mean, I had a pretty good day yesterday. I started the day at what 700,000 or 700K, and then I ended the day at 1.2 million just sniping all day. It was a good day in the market.
Nice.
So just following your tips, Kay, has definitely helped out a lot. So
good. It's good to hear. Yeah, I was able to. What did we build? We built Yonda, OBJ, and Clowney's diamond sets in the past 2 days. We started with, I think, 2.6 million. And after building those 3 cards, we're at 2.5 million. With sniping in between. You know what I mean? We're flipping cards in between that. And we still have enough cards to sell. I mean, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, but we should. They have about another 600,000 to 800,000 coins value sitting there waiting just on 100 cards. That's 100 cards I'm waiting to sell for 600,000. So that'll be a nice little jump. Then we'll decide build somebody else next week. So, but yeah, that's your market corner. Keep an eye out for it, guys. We'll post some more info.
Okay. Keep
what's going on.
Each episode Kay will do a segment on this. So we'll go over the latest trends, new packs that are coming out, any MUT leaks. So yeah, Kay's our MUT guru.
Not guru, market, not MUT guru. That's
sorry. Market. It's the accountant. That's why he's got those coins on his desk, everybody. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for this week, guys. We can open up to questions in the chat. Anything you guys want to go over? Any questions you want to get our opinion on, stuff like that. So we'll take the last couple minutes to kind of go over this. What do you guys got? Yeah, anything that back in the chat? Yeah, we had one guy who said Witten is still on the Cowboys, but he's not. He in fact retired. He joined the Monday Night Football announcement crew with I think Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians joined it too.
Oh, really?
So,
they both did?
I believe so. I know Arians is in the broadcast booth, but I don't know if it's ESPN or not.
Oh. Some guys are calling. They're expecting Danny Amendola to catch the most passes at Miami. I don't know. Amendola's a tough call for me. I'm not sure how he plays out there. I'm not high on Miami's passing offense anyway. So I don't know. It's tough. I think the knowledge between Parker and Tannehill will outweigh Amendola. Amendola was good because he had Brady throwing to him. I don't know how he does anywhere else.
Who are you picking in fantasy? Next week we'll go over fantasy picks. Since it'll be the first week. So stay tuned for that. That'll be part of our segment.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go over our. I want to do head-to-head picks next week. We're gonna do head-to-head picks next week.
Yep.
And give you guys those too. So we'll have head-to-head picks and then some kind of fantasy highlight guys.
Yeah, guys are gonna look for, play the matchup, stuff like that. Guys will pick up off the waiver wire if they're available. Who is this?
Yeah.
How bad do you think the Chiefs will beat the Broncos? They won't.
That's good. I like it. Yeah, let's see. How's the McCoy situation? Guys, Shady McCoy, I don't believe is going to have any I don't know, any repercussions for what's gone down. Everything that I hear here through the media, it looks like he's good to go. Looks like he is good to go.
Yeah, McCoy's going to have another good year, I think. The guy's always a pretty solid pickup. Lost Peanut asks, who got the better end of the Hundley trade? You know, Hundley got traded from Green Bay to Seattle to back up Russell Wilson, who probably, I don't think Seattle even had like a solid backup. So good pickup for the Seattle Seahawks. I think they only gave up a 6th rounder for him. So Hundley did okay last season, not the greatest, but you know he's not a starter; he's a backup. So just in case Russell Wilson does go down because of that porous offensive line, you know they got a pretty capable backup.
Right.
So I think both sides, you know, Packers wanted to move on. They get a draft pick out of it. Seattle didn't give up much for him, so it is what it is. Peanut says he would have taken a bag of Skittles for that guy. Rough. Anything else, guys? Are you playing Madden today, Kay?
For me. I know, guys. I think I'm going to take a break for a while, and then maybe we'll come back in about an hour and check the market. I got some solo battle stuff. I got another YouTube vid to make later, so we got some stuff going on. We'll try to jump on and be back on there.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Follow Kay and I on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube if you have not yet. This will be uploaded to YouTube on both of our channels, and we'll do so every week. So let us know when we upload it. Any suggestions, feedback, stuff like that. We're doing it for you guys. Any additions you want us to make, feel free to let us know how we did this week. So thank you for partaking in the first ever episode of the Sports Stampede. I am AZ Rhino. My co-host is Buffalo K. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, wait.
What?
We gotta do a double raid. Who are we going to raid?
Oh, we're gonna double raid somebody. Okay. Who's on right now?
I see no one on right now.
Yeah.
It's Sunday morning. Everyone's asleep.
Let's pick a Madden streamer. Random. Anybody in the chat got a suggestion for a Madden streamer?
Who's got one?
Damn, nobody's on Madden either. I don't know. I don't know any of these guys. Do you know anybody?
Dead Zone. No.
Mr.
It shouldn't be this hard to pick somebody. Chat, who you guys got? Give us a random name, please. Give us somebody to go raid.
Love the show. I know I jumped in late, but I was listening behind the scenes. Thank you, Viddy.
Nice. 11:30. Yeah, it's not that early. Where is everybody today?
I don't know, man.
Hit Throne. We can hit Throne. Let's go see what he's doing real quick.
On YouTube.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
All right.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys all coming out with us today. And like I said, we'll be back on next week. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Wish I could have him. Sell 84 Moss and get 85.